When people want to get married, they tend to focus only on the financial, cultural, religious, and social aspects. People rarely include equipping themselves with knowledge of the legal implication of the institution of marriage among their plans. And for this, many have paid dearly. Many people have lost financially, emotionally, mentally, lost access to kids, lost careers, lost reputation they have built over the years due to ignorance of the legal aspect of marriage. But funny thing is, it is law that decide marriage. During the marriage, after the marriage, during divorce, and even after divorce, it is law that decide your fate. So as you run helter skelter, making preparations, renting hall, buying Ashoebi and all, try and know what the law says about marriage before you get in. And that is what this video is meant for. My name is Lawyer Fortune, and I'm here to tell you what the law says about marriage in Nigeria, your rights, your duties, your do's and don'ts, the implication of any of the types of marriage you decide to enter, and all. Basically, there are two types of marriage in Nigeria. One, marriage under custom, that is customary marriage or traditional marriage, and marriage under statute, that is marriage under the act, the one we popularly call court marriage. And the third one is religious marriage, that is church marriage for Christians and nikah for Muslims. Now, one thing you should know is each of these types of marriage has their unique implications on you and has different troubles that come with it in terms of validity and all. Starting with customary marriage, I'm not going to bore you with baby grammars. In a very simple term, customary marriage is that type of marriage where the guy sees the lady, likes her, he goes to her parents and asks for her hand in marriage. Two things must be present for a customary marriage to be valid. First, the parent consent, our customs now, very, very important, and bride price. Once these two things are present, marriage is better. So if you're in your husband's house and your marriage is not a court marriage and your bride price has not been paid, you have not married though. His boyfriend and girlfriend you and your husband are doing. Legal implications of customary marriage. If you're in a customary marriage or you are going into a customary marriage, this is what you should have at the back of your mind. First, your husband can marry as many wives as he pleases. Yes, that is why it is called customary marriage. It is based on our customs. And the African customs allow polygamy. That is why we have the likes of Ned Nwoko. He can marry as many wives as he wants because he doesn't wear these wives under the law. He wears them under custom. And since our customs permit polygamy, he can marry as many wives. So as a woman, if your marriage is not a court marriage, that is statutory marriage, anytime your husband brings home another wife, don't get mad. It is his right. He is simply exercising his right. Secondly, like I have said, for a customary marriage to be valid, bride price must be paid. And secondly, there must be consent of the lady's parents. Of course, who do you pay bride price to? Third, divorce. Dissolving a customary marriage is very, very easy. If the man is fed up, he can easily return the woman to her people and demand for his bride price. And if it is the woman, if she's fed up, she can easily return the man's bride price to his people and tell them she's no longer interested. Number 4, marital properties and inheritance. Upon the death of the man, marital property may revert back to the man's siblings and parents. And in terms of inheritance, most of our customs don't recognize the woman's rights over marital properties. But thank God for modern law, most of our case laws have watered down the harshness of all these customs. So if you even wed under custom and you feel you are being treated unjustly, you can easily run to court for justice and fairness. Statutory marriage. This is the one we popularly call court marriage. This is the type of marriage where the man takes the woman to the marriage registry. They take each other to the marriage registry because everything about statutory marriage is equality, equality. So this is the type of marriage where the man and the woman take each other to the marriage registry and the law wears them together. In this type of marriage, the only consent required is that of the lady and of course the man. Consent of their parent is not necessary. So if you know your parents are against you getting married to someone, I think this is the best marriage option for you because you don't need their consent, you don't need their go ahead. You can easily take your boo and head straight to the marriage registry and get wedded by the law. Legal implications of statutory marriage. If you are in a statutory marriage or you are getting into one or you plan to get into one, this is what you should have at the back of your mind. First, it is a game of one man and one woman for life. So if you know you belong to the Ned Nwoko gang, men are polygamous in nature, then don't come close to statutory marriage because you'll be committing a crime called bigamy and it is punishable. Secondly, both parties must be single as at the time of the wedding. This means none of you must have a subsisting marriage. So ask your partner, hope you don't have someone already. And don't come and tell me I have someone but we are no longer together. We are not talking about separation here. Hope you don't have someone you are married to, whether under the law or other custom. Because if you marry someone under custom, man or woman, you can't marry another person under law. A man can only marry another woman under custom. But if you marry someone under law, man or woman, you can't marry another woman or another man under custom or law. Number three, I think divorce is harder. Dissolving a statutory marriage is harder. You can go and ask Toke Makinwa for lectures. Our divorce case lasted 4 years. Under customary marriage, if your marriage start going south, you can easily pull out, but that's not the case here. Dissolving a statutory marriage involves filing a case, getting a lawyer, long court processes, and proof. You can't just tell us you're no longer interested. You must tell us why, and you must bring evidence to prove the why. Let's say adultery. You must bring evidence to prove the adultery. And don't forget, it is one thing for your partner to be committing adultery, and it is another thing for you to be able to prove the adultery to court. Number four, marital property. Division of marital properties. I know some of you have been waiting for me to talk about 50-50 division of marital properties, but I'm sorry to shock you. There is nothing like 50-50 division of marital properties in Nigeria. We only have equitable distribution based on contribution. You get what you deserve based on what you contributed. It's a question of what you brought to the table. What did you bring to the table that you are demanding for? The property you are demanding for your share of, did you contribute to its acquisition? And the third type of marriage is religious marriage, that is church marriage in Christianity and Nikah in Islam. Church marriage is an offshoot of statutory marriage. It can be valid if it meets certain requirements. First, your church must be licensed to carry out weddings. So go and ask your pastor, is this church licensed to hold weddings? Secondly, the minister that wants to hold the wedding must be an ordained minister of the church and must be licensed to carry out weddings. The third requirement is that the wedding must hold between the hours of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., not in the night. And then the doors and windows of the church must be left open. Wedding is not a secret affair. And there must be consent of both parties, that is the man and the woman, and at least two witnesses, and they must all sign the wedding certificate. And the wedding certificate must be issued to you by the church. The thing is, once the church is licensed to hold weddings, the certificate issued to you by the church is valid and your marriage is valid. They would only have to register the certificate with the marriage registry. And the last one, Nikah. Nikah is just like customary marriage. It is likened to customary marriage because it allows or provides for polygamy too, unlike statutory and church marriage. And it is governed by Sharia law, not the Matrimonial Causes Act. A marriage certificate under Nikah is issued by the Imam of the mosque where the wedding holds, or the mosque marriage registrar. The solution of Islamic marriage, dissolving an Islamic marriage, is very, very simple. If it is the man that initiates the divorce, is by telling the woman, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you 3 times, and marriage has ended. And if it is the woman that initiates the divorce, is by returning the man's bride price, and that is all. This is the end of this lecture, Marriage in Nigeria. I am sure you have learned one or two things. If you have any question, let us know in the comment section. And if you don't have any question, just tell us thank you. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. More videos are coming. There's a lot to talk about. Thank you.